How you doing, guys? Alright, so I've been promising for a long time to get to some of these dating horror stories, and I actually tried to film this video once, and it got to like 10 minutes, and then I ran out of memory on my phone, so hopefully that won't happen again, because I really don't want to have to do this a third time. I do this all in one take, and I take it the first shot, and then I go. No editing, no BS, flawless the first time. Flawless victory, basically. So, anyway, let me tell you about one of my nightmare first dates. Now, just for some background information, I have dated around 500 women in my life. I may not look it, you may go, this guy is fat, ugly, old, stupid, hairy, bald, whatever. I really don't care. Okay, there was a time when I was younger, in my 20s, and very in shape, very tan, rated 9.5 on hotornot.com. I got to 9.6 briefly, and then they ticked me down, but I ended up 9.5 on hotornot.com with basically my shirt off, full body, just, boxers. So I was always very attractive to women, basically. I never needed to make much money. I never needed to ask women out. Everywhere I went, they had their hands all over me, to the point where it was disgusting. I've had women bite my face just randomly because I was working security at a club, and they were like, "You're just delicious," women, for all the ways they say men can be predators, it has been my experience that women are 10 times worse. There is a reason that they go crazy at Beatles concerts and scream and throw panties into the crowd and faint and pee on themselves, and men around attractive women just go, cool. Okay, because we're nowhere near as much being a predator as they are. So, moving on to my story, which is loosely linked to this, I met a girl on, I think it's called meetme.com now. Back then it was myyearbook.com, you might remember. And her name was Megan. It's the real name, but I'm not going to give you the last one. So, anyway, we spoke for a couple of days. Things always usually escalated pretty quick with me, because if a woman has decided that she likes you, she will, advance quickly. There's none of this back and forth for weeks crap, And I said, "Hey, let's go hang out." She said, "Absolutely, let's do it. Where and when?" I told her, gave her a date and a time and a place. She said, "Come get me." I went to go get her, and as a security measure, she's met me out on the street, because I guess she didn't want me to know what apartment she lived in. I thought maybe she was ashamed of her house or something. I didn't know, but I respected that, and I drove on that street, and she was hanging out on the side of the road, and I picked her up off the side of the road, and we went to Hofbrau, it's like a German beer place, and they serve food like knockwurst and stuff. Had a couple of drinks, like one or two there, nothing crazy, maybe one with our meal. And then after that, went to the bar. She wanted to do some karaoke, and whatever. I'm not a karaoke guy, but I humored her. So we went to a bar. As soon as we get there, order drinks. I got me my Incredible Hulk or Long Island iced tea, one of the two. And she got whatever she was drinking, I can't remember. And she goes up, put her song in that she wanted to sing, but it was very packed that night. So it was going to take quite some time for her song to come up. Not all night, though. We're talking maybe 45 minutes to an hour before her song come up, So we have a drink, 2 drinks, maybe 3. So she's had probably 4 at this time. I'm not really counting, but I just know that she can't possibly be wasted, right? she's dancing around, she's running back and forth. I got myself a freaking ultimate social butterfly. You know the type. I was just talking to strangers, she's talking to everyone, she thinks everyone's her best friend. She's getting annoying, and it's getting bad fast, and I'm getting concerned. Especially, I used to work security, and I know I can spot the problem ones as they come in the door, and I'm going, I'm with the problem, and I'm going to have to handle this. Oh no. So, anyway, it gets to the point where she's constantly hanging around the DG, like, where's my song, when are you going to get it? Let the man do his job. So, eventually, one of the security guys comes up to me, says, hey, is she yours? And I was like, no, but she's with me, you know, I know, like, and I kind of sat and spoke to him and told the situation. I was like, I'll get her out of here, you know, like, I don't want you to throw her out, and I'm not gonna, I could just leave, I could just dip out, but I'm not gonna do that and strand her here. Although at this point she was barely, I couldn't get her to just sit down and just talk to me, like it's our first date, you know, like, get to know me, like, you know what I'm saying, like, what are you doing, like, come on. Anyway, get with the picture, lady. So this broad's out here just jumping around acting like she knows what the frick she's doing. So anyways, I go and I snatch her up, and I'm like, look, we gotta go. They're getting mad. You're getting too out of hand. You know, this shit is out of pocket. We done. And so she gets in the car, and I guess she's thinking, oh, well, we escalate to the end of the night. It's, you know, he's gonna, you know, put it in me time. And I'm like, absolutely not attracted, not turned on. She already was like, she had bright, short, blonde hair. She had tattoos. Like, one of them was like a lip, you know, lips on her, and a lot of tats. I was like, I don't like tats. I don't like piercings. I'm already like, you know, pushing myself further, being very acceptant of things I shouldn't be. You know, most guys aren't cool with that. So, anyway, like, you're acting trashy, you look trashy. It's just not a good thing. I just hoped you'd be a good person, and I was willing to not judge the book by a cover. So, as we're driving home, she's like, takes her shoes off and puts them up on the dash of my car, and she starts like rolling around, and she kind of like gets tired, and I'm like, you gotta tell me where you live. Like, I don't know where you live. I'm taking you home. She, no, let's not go home. Let's do something else. And I'm like, no, the night is over. You're going home. And anyway, very quickly her condition begins to deteriorate. And next thing you know, she's basically like passed out in the passenger seat of my car. And I'm shaking her, like, wake the fuck up and tell me where, you know, what's going on. Like, where can I take you? You know, I don't know what you want me to do. And she had mentioned in the dinner earlier, she's like, I used to do GHB, like, you know, but I don't do it anymore. And it was just in passing. And I didn't really think about it because I'd never met anyone who did GHB. I've never seen GHB. I've never done GHB. I didn't even know you could get, like, your hands on it. It was just a crazy, weird thing. So, like, somebody to be a GHB user, a heavy user, like, it didn't make sense. So finally, I start putting two and two together. I'm like, well, I've never seen anyone on it, but I've heard stories, and I knew it makes you more drunk than you are. So I was like, oh my God, this woman is acting very drunk, and she's only had a couple of drinks. There's no way that she's this intolerant to alcohol. So I asked her, I was like, did you take something? You know, and she's like, yeah, I just took some GHB before I came out. I'm like, you date rape drugged yourself on a first date with a stranger. What the hell is wrong with you? You know, so she just take me to your house. I'm like, no, you know. So anyway, I get to where she lives. I'm out on the street, and at this point she's completely immobile. I pick her up, because this is in my big strong power days, you know, and I pick her up, fireman's carrier, and I'm walking thinking, like, I hope it's just an apartment complex with, like, 4 buildings or so. And it wasn't. There was, like, 3 floors and, like, 50 apartments per floor. I'm like, I'm not going to find it out of 150. So I'm like, what is your number? What is your unit number? You know, where are your keys? And, you know, I'm trying to get it out of her. And she's like, this one. And I'm like, okay. And so I knock on the door, and, like, stranger comes out, like, I'm like, oh, crap. Finally, I sit her down, and I'm, like, slapping her face, like, trying to, you know, wake her up, and she just starts foaming at the mouth, and she pees herself. Now I'm like, oh, shit. Like, this one was not about the code on me. Not happening. So at that point, I called 911, and they came. Because I've had women lie on me. We all have. Like, I'm just telling you one story out of many. And the police came, and Sergeant was there. And luckily, I'd known this Sergeant because of a previous encounter. I don't even remember anymore. I think somebody was needed help somewhere else, and I had bumped into him, and he's like, oh, you're the guy from 2 weeks ago. Like, I just happened to have bad experience. And so I went ahead and spoke to him, and he was like, that's cool, we'll go ahead and take her. So they went ahead and took her, and I wiped my hands clean, and that was it. I was out of there real quick. So that's a nightmare from hell situation right there. I dodged a bullet on that one, and to think that it happened right away on day 1. Uno. And so the funny thing is that the next day she comes, or I can't remember, I messaged her, she messaged me, or something like that, but the next day she messaged me like, why did you call the police? You know, you dumb son of a bitch, I fucking hate you. Like, just cursing me. I'm like, you OD'd. You lied to me. Said, number one, you didn't use anymore. And then you were ODing in front of me. You were dying. You tried to get me in trouble. You know, all that looks bad. You should be thanking me. I saved your life. And she was like, no, you got me in so much trouble by calling the cops. You should just take me home, like what? And let you die and piss in my bed? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, oh, you could have gotten laid. You could have had this and that. Like, what part of you makes you think that is attractive in any way, shape, or form? That, you know, and this is women's mindsets. They actually think that was something that any guy would have been okay with or wanted to. That's how delusional she was. So, you guys out there, I think that you think that you have bad stories, put them in the comments. I like to, we can trade if you want to. This is just one of many, but you see how she wanted to be sexually abused and assaulted, and then they claim about being sexualized. So, sipping ain't pimping. Don't give in. You need to stay strong. Always. Don't give them money. Don't buy. Don't cheat. You know, I wish I'd never even bought her drinks. Now, it would have been a walk on the beach, and then it avoids that. And if she starts acting funny, then I know something else is going on. I would never even got tricked because of the drinks. So, I would have saved myself, you know, $40, and, you know, who knows what, right? Wouldn't have to tip the bartender, all this crap. So, keep it simple and avoid these issues, because no matter what, you can say I'm not judging books by covers or whatever you want to do, but 9 out of 10 plus women are like that today. And this was already like 15 years ago, and it's worse today. So that's one story. I will take time and do better and start posting more and telling more stories. So I'll see you on the flip side. Deuces.